I leave a gap because David's going to come in eventually. Are you ready? Good sit. Good sit. Yes. Come on. Spin. Good spin. Okay, this video is Pompom's homework. Pompom is 6 months old, Pomeranian, and he's here for just obedience. But generally, or basically, the owner wanted to help him learn how to walk on the leash, and what else was it? To walk on the leash, and to help him with his marking. With marking is, it's a male trait. It's when the dog hits puberty. Some people like to prevent marking by just having them fixed. A lot of times, it's a better idea to wait till they hit maturity a little bit to help them just build their mane if they're male. And also there's a lot of health benefits to not fixing your dog, but there's a lot of psychological benefits when it comes to the marking, which is pretty taxing on your on these behavioral issues. They're pretty difficult to deal with. So when you look online, there's always stuff about prevention, but not on how to remedy it. Well, my idea to remedy is very straightforward, and it seems to work. It works better if your dog is taught to potty outdoors, not indoors. But Pompom has been good, Merc. Pompom has been taught to go potty indoors with the potty pad, and he's really good with the potty pad. So the main issue is hormonally he needs to mark. So to help him, we still need to take him outside. We need to take him outside to go relieve his anxiety, to mark his stress. And then once we do that, it really helps with the marking indoors. But if he does mark indoor, I'm not the one to just let it go. It's better to correct him. Correct him by just like flicking him, and for him, I can just verbally yell no, and his ears fall back, and he looks really guilty. So that's pretty much all you really need to do. If he's still marking indoors, it's because he needs to do it. It's a hormonal thing. It's an obsessive thing. So we need to just help him out and take him outdoors. Okay, with the leash walking, I've mentioned this before. If your dog is hyper, like Pompom is, Pompom, I don't teach them to walk on the leash. I teach them to be interactive with me. Spin, good spin. So I tried to figure out ways of incorporating recall, telling them to come back to me, and doing the mark and spinning, anything we can to try to get him to be interactive. Walking is boring for a hyper dog. So you could tell he just can't stay still. So the last thing I'm going to teach him is to walk by my side and to stay. Stay is something that is, it's an ongoing process of learning. You never can go. You can never perfect stay. Stay can last 5 minutes long. That's like relatively, the highest degree of education. So like, unlike someone like David here, he's learned stay really well. He just stays there because he's a cat and he doesn't care about moving. Ready? Spin. So here's one of them that I taught him during being on the leash is the spin. So spin is taking your finger because we taught him the luring. Yes. The initial stage of luring is just following the finger. There could be a treat in my hand. There may not. It's just my hands are just luring. So just take your finger and go around him. And he's going to spin. Ready? Spin. Good spin. And pushing him down with a fist is a sit. Good sit. Yes. And yes is a release. So I'll say good if he's doing it right, and I'll release him with a yes. Here, come on. Spin. Good spin. Sit. Yes. And these are all things I do with the leash because, like I said, I don't teach leash training. I'm using a vibrate collar here, not to vibrate him, but it's the only collar I have for that can fit a small dog. All my stuff is just set for large dogs, but here it is right here. Okay, ready? Come on. Ready? Spin. Good spin. So when I'm walking, I'm not really just walking in a straight line, but if he wants to walk off, that's fine. That's my opportunity to say, come here, and do a little bit of leash pressure and recall him. So he's learning recall, he's learning to spin, and David's claimed the mark. Good mark. And Pompom would sit on David if I told him to. But we can use any platform we want and go to mark. Yes, good mark. And with the mark, go to this mark. Yes, good mark. We learn to pivot. We learn to understand where our back feet are and front feet are, so we can actually start learning how to heel. Good heel. So this is the preliminary stages of marking. Going to mark, mark. Yes. And then learning to actually stay by your side for heel. Good heel. Come on. Good. Push back, sit. Yes. And then come on. Itchy, you good. Spin. This way. Mark. Yes. Good mark. So you see, this is all actual competitive healing that I've incorporated just so we can have fun on leash. Otherwise, leash walking is not fun for hyper dogs. Leash walking is actually counterproductive in your relationship with your dog. So have two different levels or two different reasons to walk your dog. Walk him because he needs to go potty, and then use that as a recall when he's done. So with Pompom, when he walks off to go mark, I praise him for marking, and he'll come running to me expecting praise and reward. And that's how we practice the way we walk. Walking on a leash, training to walk on a leash without actually training to walk on the leash. Go to mark. Yes, good mark. So we can walk around. Come on. And we can have some fun. Ready? Spin. Good spin. Mark. Oh, careful. Mark. Oh, no. Mark. Yes. Good mark. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good sit. Good. Okay. Good walk, David. Come on. And eventually, just because we're doing the luring, you can probably go do some extra stuff like in between the legs if he's comfortable. Good weave. Come on. Good weave. Good boy. Ready? Spin. Good spin. And maybe after he's established one spin, Pompom, spin this way. Good. Ready? Pompom, spin this way. Good. Spin this way. Good. Sit. Good. Mark. Yes. Good mark. We can all do this while on leash. And the benefit of this is we're teaching him not to learn opposition reflex. So that's something all dogs do. When you start leisurely walking your dog and they start pulling you, you start giving their way, and they're going to start learning that pulling is good. We're teaching him that pulling means to come to you. Good boy. Sit. Where'd you sit? Good stand. Good sit. So I hope this kind of helps my philosophy on how to walk a dog. Walking a dog needs to be fun. It needs to be engaging. The whole idea we walk the dog is to exercise them, but honestly, walking is not exercise for a hyper dog. Running is. And eventually, when we have this kind of relationship and we have this really strong recall, the idea is that he can run off and he can come back without the leash. So the leash is just a legal proponent of being outdoors, so to speak. Okay, I think that explains a lot. All right, thanks, guys. Bye. Thanks, babe. He's smart, right? I didn't teach him weave or spinning the other way. This is something he just did for me just now.